Craving a sweet treat that's both comforting and quick to prepare? Let's dive into a delightful journey of making a delicious apple raisin cake that you can whip up in just minutes. This cake brings together the tartness of apples, the natural sweetness of raisins, and the warmth of cinnamon for a dessert that feels like home. Perfect for any occasion, or simply to satisfy your sweet tooth on a busy day. Start by gathering your ingredients. You'll need a couple of crisp apples. Granny Smiths are perfect for their tartness, but any apple on hand will do. Chop them into small, bite-sized pieces, keeping the skin on for a bit of texture, or peel them if you prefer a smoother bite. Next, measure out a generous handful of raisins. The raisins add a chewy, sweet counterpoint to the apples and ensure every bite is bursting with flavor. In a large mixing bowl, combine your dry ingredients. Sift together all-purpose flour, baking powder, a pinch of salt, and of course, ground cinnamon. The cinnamon is essential. It infuses the cake with that cozy, aromatic quality that pairs so well with apples and raisins. If you like a bit more complexity, a dash of nutmeg or allspice can elevate the flavor even further. Now, in a separate bowl, take your wet ingredients. Crack in a couple of eggs, add sugar, white for a light sweetness, or brown for deeper caramel notes, a splash of vanilla extract, and some melted butter or oil for richness. Whisk these together until everything is well blended and silky smooth. Pour your wet mixture into the dry ingredients, stirring gently to combine. The key here is not to overmix. You want the batter just combined so your cake stays tender and light. Fold in those chopped apples and plump raisins, distributing them evenly so every slice gets a taste of both. If you're feeling adventurous, this is the perfect moment to add some optional extras. A handful of chopped walnuts or pecans will bring a delightful crunch. A sprinkle of lemon zest can brighten up the flavors. Or perhaps a spoonful of honey for an extra layer of sweetness. Pour the batter into a greased baking dish or cake pan. Smooth the top with a spatula. Then, if you like, arrange a few thin apple slices or a scattering of raisins on top for a pretty finish. Pop the pan into a preheated oven, and soon your kitchen will be filled with the irresistible scent of baking apples and cinnamon. While the cake bakes, let's talk about why this recipe works so well. Apples bring moisture and a subtle tartness, keeping the cake from being overly sweet. Raisins, those little bursts of sunshine, provide natural sugar and chewy texture. Cinnamon and vanilla come together to create a comforting aroma, so evocative of autumn afternoons and family gatherings. Within 30 to 40 minutes, your cake will be golden brown, with a tender crumb and a fragrant, inviting aroma. Insert a toothpick into the center. If it comes out clean or with just a few moist crumbs, it's ready. Let the cake cool slightly before slicing, allowing the flavors to meld and the texture to set. Serve slices warm or at room temperature. For a simple treat, dust with powdered sugar, letting it fall like snow over the golden top. For something a bit more indulgent, a dollop of whipped cream or a scoop of vanilla ice cream turns this humble cake into a truly special dessert. This apple raisin cake isn't just delicious, it's also incredibly versatile. It makes a satisfying breakfast on a chilly morning, especially paired with a mug of hot coffee or tea. It's a perfect afternoon snack, sturdy enough to pack in lunchboxes or picnic baskets. And, of course, it's a crowd-pleasing dessert for dinner parties, potlucks, or whenever friends stop by. Let's not forget that this cake is also easy to adapt to your tastes and what you have in your pantry. No raisins? Try swapping in dried cranberries, chopped dainties, or even dried apricots for a twist. Prefer pears to apples? Go ahead. Pears will melt into the cake, giving it a delicate flavor. Want it gluten-free? Substitute your favorite gluten-free flour blend and enjoy just the same. For those watching their sugar intake, you can reduce the sugar in the recipe by a quarter or even a half, especially if your apples are quite sweet. You might also experiment with natural sweeteners like honey or maple syrup, which lend their own subtle notes to the finished cake. If you want to make this cake even faster, you can prepare the batter ahead of time, store it in the fridge, and bake when you're ready. Or bake the cake in individual muffin tins for single-serving treats that bake up even quicker and make portioning a breeze. Beyond its ease and adaptability, what truly makes this apple raisin cake special is the sense of comfort and nostalgia it brings. There's something about the combination of apples, raisins, and cinnamon that evokes memories of family kitchens, holiday gatherings, and cozy afternoons spent indoors. Each bite is a reminder that the simplest ingredients, lovingly combined, can yield the most satisfying results. And as you enjoy this cake, take a moment to appreciate the little things, the way the apples soften and their juices mingle with the batter, the way the raisins plump up and offer bursts of sweetness, the way the aroma lingers in your kitchen long after the cake is gone. If you're sharing this cake with friends or family, don't be surprised if they ask for the recipe. It's the kind of treat that begs to be passed along, a little piece of homemade happiness that anyone can make, even on the busiest of days. To make the process even more fun, invite children to help in the kitchen. Let them stir the batter, sprinkle in the raisins, or arrange apple slices on top. Baking together can be a wonderful way to create memories and pass down the joy of home cooking to the next generation. For those who love a touch of decadence, try drizzling a simple glaze over the cooled cake. Mix powdered sugar with a bit of milk and vanilla, then pour it in thin ribbons over the top. The glaze will set into a sweet, crackly layer that adds just the right amount of extra sweetness. Or, for a rustic touch, serve the cake with a spoonful of Greek yogurt and a drizzle of honey. The tang of the yogurt balances the sweetness of the cake, making for a well-rounded dessert, snack, or breakfast treat. If you find yourself with leftovers, this cake keeps well for several days, staying moist and flavorful. Simply wrap it tightly or store it in an airtight container. You can even freeze slices for later. Just thaw and warm in the oven, or microwave for a treat that tastes as fresh as the day it was baked. In the end, the beauty of this apple raisin cake lies in its simplicity. With just a few everyday ingredients and a little bit of time, you can create something that feels special and tastes amazing. It's proof that you don't need elaborate techniques or fancy equipment to make a dessert that delights the senses and warms the heart. So the next time you're in need of a quick, delicious treat, remember this apple raisin cake. Whether you're baking for a crowd, for your family, or just for yourself, it's sure to become a cherished favorite, one you'll return to again and again, whenever you crave a taste of home. Enjoy every bite, savor every moment, and happy baking.